Hello everyone, Broessa the Halodoc Bros here, signing in, doing another figure unboxing. As you can see, I have one of the KanColle figures. Let me go over, I'm going to change my lighting just because it's one of those boxes that seems to absorb a lot of light like the previous Metroid Figma. But it is, gosh, that is really dark. It is Figma Tokitsukaze number 361 from Kantai Collection. KanColle is a KanColle symbol. I'm going to go over like some of the stuff on the box itself. I know she debuted in 2014. Oh, the top and the bottom are the same. They've been doing that a lot recently. She's got her little dog pose because she is referred to as, I guess, Doggo-chan or Doge-chan or whatever. Once again, I don't have her myself, unfortunately. Wish I did. I haven't played a bunch of the events recently just because I've been too busy with classes. This is the, what side of the box is this? This is the right side. And then the back. All right, I do want to try and aim for this dog pose, we'll say. I do like a bunch of these. Some of these are quite cute. But she really doesn't have much to her. She's just got really a kind of a gun purse and a couple faces. So this should be really easy. Actually, I have one extra thing. I do have the pre-order bonus from Good Smile Company, so we're going to throw that face on her. I can't remember exactly what it is. Just going to go over another couple things, so I'm going to show off all my Kantai Collection figures as soon as I'm done. But she was in the same Destroyer division as Amatsukaze and Yukikaze. Now, I haven't unboxed Yukikaze yet. I have her here. So I'm hoping to do that in the immediate future. And then she was also with Hatsukaze, if I'm not mistaken. I cannot remember now. I'm hoping maybe she gets a Figma someday. The KanColle figures have kind of slowed a little bit. One other thing I want to point out about this is I'm not terribly upset, but there's a bit of the damage to the box here in the upper corner. Nothing I could do against that, but oh well. But let's get her unboxed, and we'll go from there and throw some faces on her and pose her with all the other girls. So as I say in a big chunk of my videos, part of the reason I do this is because I want to know how to rebox the figure back up in case I move. I've got so many Figma boxes now that it makes it easier to know how to put them back together. Okay, I put it right back in. There we go. All right. So once again, like I said, it doesn't look like there's much to her. Just take a quick look here. Actually, let me move this off to the side. So once again, yeah, we've just got a couple faces. We've got the gun platform and we've got the Figma itself. I'll go over the stuff in the bottom, the instructions and whatnot. Let's just take a quick look and see. And look at flexibility. One thing I am going to point out, and actually I'll just pull out the figure right away. Put my camera down a smidge. So, one thing I've noticed in a handful of videos with her is she's got the same rudder boots as many of the other girls. I don't know if they're platform shoes, high heels, whatever you want to call them. But the rudders here as the heel portion. Seems to be very common with them. I mean, it's in the design. I just think it's very interesting, and they've actually carried it over quite well. So we've got standard arm articulation, wrist. Oh, she's got a little wrist bracelets that kind of fall off. Or not fall off, but are movable. She is a very small Figma, I noticed. Probably similar in size to Fubuki, which I'll do a size comparison here in a moment. Just another couple things I noticed. This, in the front, her neckerchief. Has an anchor on it, similar to like Shimakaze has in her hair. Once again, I'll do a comparison at the end. She has these thigh joints, which I didn't notice before, and now, like, it's not... I don't see them very often in Figmas. I see them a lot in the 6-inch Marvel figures and figures like that, but not so much in Figmas. So that's kind of nice, yeah, because the legs, like so, probably makes posing a little bit easier. She has the torpedo platform on the back, which there's a hole right there, which is where the stand will go. Other than that, oh, and then she's got a little smokestack on her head, which is similar to a lot of other Figmas in the KanColle line. But let's take a look at this other stuff. Let's put her down there. Let's take a look. So we've got this gun backpack, I'll call it. I'm going to go look through the instructions as to how she's supposed to hold it, because I don't remember too much from the box itself, but I'll go over that and I'll put it in the background while I'm posing her. So we've got the little gun platform. And let's pop these little faces out. Alright, I guess we're just going to flip them over, just because they're not coming out very well. Alright, there we go. I didn't want to damage them with my knife. So we just have kind of, we'll say, let's take a look here. Oh. So just kind of, I don't know, exasperated face. And we also have, what's this one? Winking, kind of. This might be a half damage face. I can't remember what her half damage looks like. We'll put that one down. And then lastly, let me switch my lighting. We have the standard bag, like so. We have, oh, she doesn't even have a, they put her hands in individual bags, so that's kind of frustrating. I really like the holder for the hands themselves. Well, I guess they're probably cutting down on costs and whatnot. There is the arm and the platform to hold her up herself. There's the part of that goes on the posing arm. And lastly, the instructions. Let's see what they say. Okay, so this is the American side, or I should say the English side, not the American side. The gun platform goes around her head like so. Her head just pops right off, which is not uncommon with many Figmas. And that's about it. Before I go too much further, let's take a look at what the pre-order bonus is. Just because I like the pre-order bonuses. I've gotten pretty much all the pre-order bonuses. The only one I missed out on was Nagato's, and that's because I bought it. I completely forgot to buy it at release. I was not able to do that at that time. Come on. There we go. We just have a nice little happy winking face, blinking face. I'll try that one first and just see how it works out. And let's get her, but let me get her all posed and go from there. And I'll put the box back up in the background. But really, once again, not too much to the Figma itself. And I'll get her posed, and then I'll pose her with all the other KanColle Figmas. For this first pose, I wanted to do this just because it seemed like it would match the face, the blinking face. So it turned out all right. One thing I did notice while putting her on, not only is she loose, but the platform here, the torpedo platform, comes off real easy as well. So I'm thinking I may take off this extra part of the arm and just do the arm itself. But so far, or overall, this turned out quite well. I did really like this, and I really like this face, although I'm kind of limited in the amount of poses I can use it as on the back of the box. Of course, I can make up one on my own. I generally just tend to stick the ones on the back of the box. But let's move on to another one. I want to try and do the doggo pose. Move that and zoom in. Do the doggo pose. I also quite like this doggo-chan pose. It turned out quite well. The only other frustrating thing is I've just noticed frustration with this figure is the wrist things. They fall off real easily whenever you change out the hands. And I've made sure to keep them with the proper wrist, but it's been kind of frustrating that they fall off every time. I know there's plenty of other Figmas that do that as well, that have the wrist things that fall off or aren't very well secured, but it's just kind of frustrating. They just seem much looser than normal. But that is the doggo-chan pose, as I keep calling it. Just because, I don't know if, I just want to point this out. They call her doggo-chan just because her hair kind of gives her the impression of looking a little bit like a dog. That's part of it. I mean, more goes into it than that, but that's just one quick thing. But let's get into a final pose, and then we'll go from there. For this final pose, I wanted to use that, the one eye closed, mouth open, that kind of like the exasperated look. But they have it, let me zoom in and do this really quickly. Tilt my camera up just a smidge. So they have two poses with her, but this one is kind of like a happy pose, and this one is the face I've gone with right now. But the problem is, like, they've basically taken the same face, and from the way they pose it, they changed the way, like, it looks on her. So one of them looks kind of like a happy face, and the other one looks more like this exasperated face, which I've got now, which I think it's a half damage face. I cannot remember now for the life of me. I don't remember what her half damage looks like now off the top of my head. But that is that pose. It turned out really well. I'm just actually going to zoom in just because I've been having trouble with that. It turned out really well. In addition, very few problems outside of I don't know how to pose the leg, so I just kind of went with it. But that one turned out really well. I'm going to pose it now with all my other Figmas. I'm actually going to probably put her and switch her to this pose right here. And we'll take a look at all the KanColle girls that I've got open so far. The only ones that I'm missing, as I showed earlier, is Yukikaze, and then Kitakami, KTKM, and Oi. But hopefully there'll be an unboxing here someday soon, but I'm just going to pose the ones that I have. The only one that I'm missing as well is Fubuki, the game version, because I already have the anime series version. But once again, I'll get them all posed together and we'll take a look at and see what they all look like together. And lastly, here are all my girls together. I just wanted to, so initially I wanted to do the size comparison between Tokitsukaze and Fubuki. And they are, Fubuki does seem a bit bigger and bulkier, it seems. But they are both small. I was going to do another size comparison. The only other smaller Figma I can think of that I have, and I don't have her out of the box, unfortunately, but is my index from a certain magical index. But I'm just going to throw in, so in a previous unboxing I did one of my Hatsune Racing Mikus, and I wanted to do their size comparison, and she's a bit bulkier and she feels heavier, the Hatsune Miku does, but Tokitsukaze is roughly about the same size. They're about the same height. They're not too terribly much, outside of her weight being bigger or being higher, they're not too terribly like taller than the other. So let me go back and focus. And I wanted to point out also, so of course Fubuki doesn't have the boots, but the rudder boots, like on Tokitsukaze, is from the same division from like Amatsukaze. And let's see here. My stuff is going to fall down just because they're crammed, just so they can fit into the picture. And Shimakaze, they all have the same kind of rudder boots. Many of the other girls do as well. I'm not going to pick up every single one of them just because it's going to cause like a domino effect and they're all going to fall down at once. But I did want to do the size comparison. I mean, of course, like I've done unboxings of Kashima there in the back, and Prince Eugen and Iowa. Many of these I had before I started filming unboxings. And some of the and so I also don't have a lot of the of the prior ones. I don't have the pre-order bonuses, or they just didn't come with them. Just a quick rundown of the other ones. This is Nagato, Mutsu, Kaga, Akagi, and like I said, I haven't unboxed Kitakami, Oi, or Yukikaze. Hopefully they'll be added to the image soon. And then the only Figma I haven't picked up out of the line is the game version of Fubuki here. This is the anime version, which was the very first one that I ended up doing an unboxing of. And Shimakaze was the very first one to get a Figma. So, but that is my unboxing of Tokitsukaze, Figma Tokitsukaze, from Kantai Collection, KanColle. Thank you guys for watching. This is Bro S of the Halodoc Bros. Peace out.